Yes, hello once again and welcome back to Classic Dirt Bike TV. Now in this next video we're going to continue with racing highlights from the Northern Ireland Classic Scramble Club's 2-day charity event that was held at Ballysallagh Road in Bangor on the 13th and 14th of August. So we're just going to jump straight into race 1, and this of course is the pre-74s, pre-70s and pre-65s. And so as the riders leave the line for race 1, it looks like a good start there by Harry Stitt on the Cecil Pearson Jap machine. Second place is James Thompson. Third is John Griffiths, also riding one of these Rickman Japs. Fourth position there looks like it's Adrian Lappin. So as the riders make their way through and head up the hill for the first race of the day, it's still Harry Stitt with the pole position. Now these of course are the highlights from the Friday evening's races. We will have 2 blocks of racing for this Friday evening programme, so that's 16 races in total. Now these classic races at this 2-day charity event are all sponsored by the Fox's Den Cafe and Deli Bar at Jubilee Road in Newtonards. So it's thanks to Kerry Turtle and the rest of the gang there for their nice sponsorship of this particular class. But we're looking at number 111 there, just going through. That's Harry Stitt. Number 33 is John Griffiths. Number 4 is Ian Buchanan. And it looks like we've got a rider just taking a little slip off his machine there. And so as the riders head up the hill to complete lap 1, it's now James Thompson, number 26, who is your race leader. And James of course is riding one of Cecil Pearson's Rickman Jap machines. Now I think Harry Stitt there is in second position with John Griffiths, number 33, in third. Ian Buchanan is now down to 5th place. Now as you can see, the weather at this point on the Friday evening, a bit overcast, but nonetheless still dry thankfully, but we do have forecasts for showers later in the evening, but hopefully they won't come to too much. So we're looking at number 26, James Thompson on the Rickman Jap, as he heads towards the brand new tabletop that has been placed on the track since our last visit here, which of course was in 2019. So it's James Thompson, your race leader. Second is Harry Stitt. Third is John Griffiths, number 33, just making his way through. Number 4 there is Ian Buchanan, who is now moved up to 4th position, and number 44 is Adrian Lappin. And I think Adrian's riding one of those Harry Stitt framed Jap machines. So it's James Thompson, your race leader, as he completes yet another lap on that flying 4-stroke Jap machine. Now this of course is part 1 of possibly 5 or even 6 videos that we will be posting from this 2-day event here at Northern Ireland. So please make sure that you subscribe to my channel in order that you don't miss out on any of the future racing from this 2-day event. So it's still James Thompson, your race leader, as we look at the battle between number 111 and number 33. That's Harry Stitt and John Griffiths. Both these riders once again mounted on Cecil Pearson Jap machines. Now that number 33 bike of John Griffiths is of course a Rickman Jap, whereby the 111 bike of Harry Stitt is a special frame that Harry himself designed and built, and it houses one of Cecil Pearson's big 600 Jap motors in the chassis. Now we're looking at third place man, number 4, that's Ian Buchanan on the CZ, and number 44 Adrian Lappin just close behind. But here's your race leader coming round to complete another racing lap. It's number 26, the flying James Thompson as he heads up the hill once more. Now on the Friday night's race programme we have 16 races lined up. That's 2 blocks of racing, and of course you can see the entire first block of racing here in this part 1 video, with of course the following 8 races coming up in part 2. So we're looking at our battle between our 2nd and 3rd placed riders. It's number 111 Harry Stitt who leads John Griffiths as they both take their turn at the Wall of Death, as it's so called. But a lovely layout of a track here at Cecil Pearson's fantastic racetrack. So it's still James Thompson, your race leader, but we're concentrating on the battle for 2nd and 3rd between Harry Stitt and John Griffiths. Now Harry Stitt of course riding that Stitt framed Jap machine, whereby John Griffiths is riding a Rickman framed Jap machine. But as they come up to cross the line to start their last and final lap, it's Harry Stitt in 2nd position with John Griffiths in 3rd as they both make their way up the Pearson Hill for the last and final time. Now this part at the top of the track is slightly different from the layout that we saw in 2019, but nonetheless still a fantastic old racetrack. As we take a look at number 26, our race leader James Thompson on the 600 Rickman Jap machine. Looks like number 11 there, that's Cecil Pearson, the track owner, has got some kind of mechanical issue with his Jap Scrambler. But we're back to our 2nd and 3rd placed riders as they battle on this last lap of this first pre-1970s and 74 class race. It's Harry Stitt in 2nd place who leads John Griffiths, number 33, as they have just 2 or 3 turns to go before the completion of this first race of the day. So James Thompson's already making his way up the hill to take the checkered flag, but we're concentrating on the battle for 2nd and 3rd. But it looks like it's going to be Harry Stitt who's going to take that runner-up position from John Griffiths there, number 33 in 3rd. So it's a win for James Thompson, 2nd Harry Stitt, 3rd is John Griffiths. Just a nice acknowledgement there between the 2 riders for a good race, as John Griffiths pops a little wheelie. And we're looking at number 55 there. I think that's Philip Pearson. Looks like Philip's borrowed one of Cecil's Jap Scramblers. Looks like Philip's been passed by that rider there without any numbers on the bike. I think that's another one of Cecil Pearson's machines. I think that's a Rickman Jawa that somebody's borrowed to race. But here's your track owner just crossing the line to take the checkered flag, number 11 Cecil Pearson. Okay, next up we're going to take a look at the first of the youth races. This is the 125 and 254 strokes race. Because this of course is a charity event, we will have a collection of youth races included in this race programme. But it looks like a good start there by, I think that's Callum Pearson on the Husqvarna, who's made a good start as they head up the hill. It is indeed Callum Pearson with the early lead in this race. Now there are quite a few riders in this particular class that are not listed in the race programme, so it could be a bit of a chore trying to work out who is who, but I'll certainly do my best as they head down the hill. It's still number 93, that's Callum Pearson on the Husqvarna, who is your race leader. Number 116 there in second position is again not listed in the race programme. Number 911 just making his way through is Ben Morrow, riding what looks like a KTM, but here's your race leader, Callum Pearson. I'm sure that Callum's the grandson of track owner Cecil Pearson, but you can see that this part of the track is still quite slippy at this point. So we're back with our race leader once again, number 93, Callum Pearson. Callum's riding, of course, that modern style Husqvarna machine as he comes up to cross the line to complete his first lap of this youth 125 and 254 stroke race. Number 611 is still in second position, although as I said, there's not many of these riders actually listed in the race programme for this particular class, so it's quite hard to identify some of the riders, but it's still Callum Pearson, your race leader, and number 611 on the KTM is in second position. Now I know for a fact that the Northern Ireland Classic Scramble Club did urge riders and competitors to get their entries in early in order that they would be included in the race programme, but unfortunately a few of these riders didn't seem to make the cut-off day for the programme printing. But it looks like we've got a rider down at the far side of the track there, but appears to be okay. Now number 95 just coming towards us there. That looks like an old TM machine. These were very quick bikes, these old TMs back in the day, and we're looking at our race leader Callum Pearson as he makes his way across the line to complete yet another racing lap. And I think it's number 611 who is your second placed rider. And this race, of course, will be just one of two races for the youth 125 and 254 strokes. So it's still Callum Pearson, your race leader. Callum's led most of this race right from the start line. It looks like he's looking comfortable for a race win as he takes the wall of death turn. Now, of course, these youth classes at this two-day event here at Ballysallagh Road are all sponsored by Function Design Furniture, and of course it's thanks to many of the other sponsors who have contributed to this two-day event that we can raise much needed cash for the local Kidney Care UK charity, the Air Ambulance Northern Ireland, and of course the Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. So three very worthwhile charities will certainly be glad of the contributions from this two-day event. So as we look at Callum Pearson coming round to start his last and final lap of this race, this has been quite a solid performance by Callum on his Husqvarna machine. I think it's number 611 on the KTM who is still in second position, and once again I do apologise for not being able to name the riders because I don't have that particular information to hand. But over the course of the 2 days at this event you will see some fantastic racing going on, so make sure that you don't miss out on future video postings here from Classic Dirt Bike TV. So we're just watching the rest of the chasing pack as they complete their last and final lap of this youth 125 and 250 four-stroke class. We're looking at our race leader, number 93, Callum Pearson, as he heads towards the checkered flag to take his first win of the day. So it's a win for Callum Pearson and I think it's going to be at number 611 on the KTM who's going to cross the line in second position. Okay, next up we have the first of the twin shock class races, and this is grade C. And as you can see, an excellent turnout of riders for this class. I think I counted about 30 riders on the line in this particular class, but it looks like we're all good to go. The 5-second board is up and the riders leave the line. And so as they make turn 1, it looks like, I think that could be Aaron Bailey, number 154 in the white there, who is your race leader. He's not listed in the race programme, but I do remember Aaron from the day of the filming, so it looks like it's number 154 here, Aaron Bailey on the YZ Yamaha, who is your race leader as they make their way up Pearson Hill. Now we have 3 twin shock classes for you here at this 2-day event at Ballysallagh Road. We have grade C, which you're looking at the moment, and then grade B, and of course the big fast guys in grade A. So as I come towards us, it looks like it's still Aaron Bailey, but Aaron looks like he's just been passed there for that lead position. As we take a look at number 511 on the RM Suzuki, that's Peter Denny, and just behind Peter there was number 275, that's Eddie Long on the Maiko, and you may remember we took a look at Eddie's bike in the paddock in one of the previous videos. So here's your race leader at the moment, it's number 221, and number 95 just going through there, that's Wesley Stockdale riding his 480 Honda. And number 25 just in the centre of your picture there is Stephen Strickland. So as they come round to complete lap 1, it was number 221 who was your race leader, but it looks like Aaron Bailey, number 154, has regained that first place position. And number 212 there just making his way through on the YZ 400 Yamaha is William Stevenson as our race leader. Makes his way up to the top of the hill to start lap 2. So it's still at number 154, Aaron Bailey, who is your race leader. Looks like Aaron's riding an old YZ 250 Yamaha as he makes his way up to the wall of death, as people are now calling it. Looks like Wesley Stockdale is moving up, just passing William Stevenson there on his YZ Yamaha. So here's your race leader, Aaron Bailey, number 154. Just pick up our second place rider, number 221, who unfortunately I can't name because he's not listed in either the race programme or on the club's website. Number 28 just going through there, I think that could be Tom Rutherford riding that old Maiko. Number 62 on the CZ there, I think that's Mark Harrison just making his way through. But as they complete lap 2, this is a battle for second position between number 221 on the Maiko and number 95 Wesley Stockdale. Aaron Bailey is still your race leader with number 221 second, Wesley Stockdale in third, but it looks like Wesley's making a move for that second place position. And we're back with our race leader once again, number 154. Number 95 there, Wesley Stockdale, is in second place now with number 221 in third. And once again, all of these twin shock class races are sponsored by the Fox's Den Cafe and Deli Bar in Jubilee Road in Newtonards. So it's thanks to many of the sponsors that have committed their services to this fantastic 2-day charity event. But we're looking at number 221, who's regained that second place position from Wesley Stockdale. And it looks like number 212 William Stevenson is now in 4th position. And number 224 there, I think that could be Errol Boyd on his Husqvarna. Looks like he's had some kind of off-track excursion. As we take a look at number 212 again, William Stevenson. Now, this is a bike that William Stevenson bought brand new in 1978, and William's been riding that bike for the last 43 years. So how many Scrambler riders can say that they've owned and raced the very same bike they bought 43 years ago? And so that's William Stevenson there on his YZ 400 Yamaha. Number 21 there is John Campbell, and John's riding that original, what looks like a 1974 CCM. Not many of these original bikes from way back in the day still going, but that is an original machine there of John Campbell's. As we take a look at William Stevenson just negotiating the tabletop jump that's been put in for this 2021 event. John Campbell again there just close behind on the CCM. So as we take a look at a few of the other riders on their last and final lap of this race. Quite a good selection of riders for this grade C class. Number 62 going through is Mark Harrison, but it's been a win for Aaron Bailey as we watch William Stevenson taking the checkered flag and John Campbell. It looks like Roy Johnston there parked trackside with his RM Suzuki. Looks like he's having a bit of selection problems with the gearbox. Is that in neutral now? No, try it again. That's it now. No, try it again. That's it now. No, try it again. That's it now. No, try it again. This is not a rewind, by the way. Try it again. No, yeah, maybe. No. Can't understand this really because it's not a Michael gearbox, but no. Is he good to go? Yeah, looks like he's got it back to normal. And this man here was our intrepid commentator for the day, Roy Neal, who does a fantastic job. But we are back to our second twin shock grade class of the day, and this is of course grade B. Looks like the riders once again are ready to leave the line. As you can see, the weather here on the Friday evening is still absolutely perfect, a bit overcast, but nonetheless thankfully still dry. So as the riders make their way up the hill, looks like number 7 Tom Paul has made a good start on the RM Suzuki, but it looks like it's Tad Henney who's taken the lead of this first twin shock grade B class race as they head up the hill to start at lap 1. So as they come into the centre part of the racetrack, it still looks like it's number 252 Tad Henney who's your race leader on what looks like an old 1979 or possibly a 78 Michael. Second position there looks like it's John Stokes from Scotland, number 151. John's riding that 490 Michael. Looks like Tom Paul at number 7 there in the yellow Suzuki is in third position. So here's your race leader, number 252 Tad Henney, being chased by number 151 John Stokes. Tom Paul, number 7, is in third. Number 55 I think is Philip Pearson, and I think Philip's riding that Husaberg framed Jawa machine. So as they make their way from the bottom section of the track up the hill to complete at lap 1, it looks like it's still Tad Henney who leads John Stokes, number 151. Two very quick riders in this twin shock B class race. It looks like Philip Pearson is now your third placed rider. But this looks like it could be lining up to be quite a good race here between number 252 Tad Haney and number 151 John Stokes from Shotts in Scotland, in Lanarkshire. So both riders now heading towards that wall of death turn. John Stokes trying to go down the inside, but Tad Haney holding on to that pole position. So it's a battle of the Michaels for positions 1 and 2 between Tad Haney's, what I think is a 400 or possibly even a 440 Michael, and John Stokes's at 1981 at 490. But it's still number 252, your race leader, Tad Haney, from number 151 John Stokes. Number 7 there is Tom Paul on that Suzuki. At number 4 just making his way through there, I think that could be Jeff Shaw on what looks like a YZ Yamaha. But as they come up the hill to complete another lap, it's still Tad Haney who leads John Stokes in second position. Now this of course is one of 2 races for the Twin Shock B class for the Friday evening's race programme. Each riding class will have 2 races, and of course on the Saturday we will have a full programme and 3 blocks of racing. But it looks like we'll have a new race leader here, number 151 John Stokes. Doesn't seem to be any sign of Tad Haney. He's maybe had some kind of mechanical trouble at the top section of the track, but it looks like John Stokes has got quite a comfortable lead here in this first Twin Shock B class race. So it's still number 151 John Stokes, your race leader, and I think in second position now is I think it's number 55. Should be Philip Pearson on the big Jawa Berg. Number 24 just making his way through there again is Matt Miller. I think Matt's riding a CCM machine, but a good battle here between Philip Pearson and Matt Miller. So it's that big Jawa Berg of Philip Pearson, number 55 there, who leads number 24 Matt Miller on the CCM. So as they begin their last and final lap of this grade B class race, it's still number 151 John Stokes, your race leader, from number 55 Philip Pearson. So it certainly looks like it's going to be quite an easy run to the checkered flag for number 151 John Stokes. And still don't know what's happened to Tad Haney. He was riding very well in this race in the early stages, but it doesn't seem to be any sign of him or his machine on the track. But of course he's maybe back at the paddock by this time. But here's the battle for second position between number 55 Philip Pearson and number 24 that is of course Matt Miller on that big CCM. So quite a good race developing here for this second place. But here's your race leader as he comes up the hill to take his first win of the day and the checkered flag, number 151 John Stokes. But we're looking for number 55 to see if Philip Pearson is going to take that second position, and indeed he does. And in third is number 24 Matt Miller. Okay, that brings us to the first race of the day for the big boys in the Twin Shock class Grade A. Not as big a field, of course, as the Twin Shock Grade C boys, but nonetheless these are some very quick riders in this class. And as they leave the line, as expected, a very good start by James Thompson on that YZ 490 Yamaha as he comes up to start lap 1. So it's James Thompson, number 26, who leads number 2, Tommy Merton in second position. Ian Buchanan is in third, and I think Ian's riding a borrowed machine from Trevor Calderwood, but some very quick riders in this Twin Shock A class. So as they make their way down from the top section of the track, it is indeed still James Thompson, number 26. Number 2 there is Tommy Merton on that 430 CR Husqvarna. Now this is a bike supplied of course by Adrian Lappin, and Adrian prepares and gets this bike all set up for Tommy, and Tommy absolutely flies on this Husqvarna machine, so look out for a good battle here between number 26 and this man here, number 2, Tommy Merton. As we pick up a few of the chasing riders, and just coming through there, number 54 on the right hand side is I think that's Norman Scott on his YZ Yamaha, but as they make their way up the hill, it's still number 26 James Thompson who leads number 2 Tommy Merton on that very quick Husqvarna. And this number 2 bike of Tommy Merton, as you can see, it may be down slightly on overall horsepower, but it can certainly hustle, and it looks like Tommy's already taken the lead of this race with James Thompson in second, but quite a comparison on these two different bikes as they exit the corners. You can see as soon as Tommy snaps that throttle back, the back end of that YZ Yamaha just kind of washes out and just won't get a hold of the track, but this 430 of Tommy Merton's is a very stable and extremely quick two-stroke machine. So it's Tommy Merton, your race leader. Second is James Thompson on that YZ 490 Yamaha. I think it's Ian Buchanan here, number 4, who is in third. But it certainly looks like Tommy Merton is well on his way as he makes his way up the hill. So it's Tommy Merton, your race leader. Second is still James Thompson, but Tommy Merton absolutely flying on that 430 Yamaha. And you see that bike of James Thompson that just snakes and slides all over the back end, but that's a very stable machine this that Tommy Merton's got underneath him, and it certainly shows in how quick he's getting around this racetrack. Tommy Merton, of course, not only races in his native Northern Ireland, he does do a lot of his racing on the UK mainland, but James Thompson trying his absolute damnedest to get back onto terms with Tommy Merton. But these YZ 490s are super quick bikes, but obviously Tommy Merton's Husqvarna appears to be putting the power down in the corners much more stabler than that bike of James Thompson's. Now here's your third placed rider, number 4 Ian Buchanan on the CZ machine. So as they come round to start their last and final lap, it's Tommy Merton, number 2, but James Thompson certainly looks like he's slightly closer on Tommy Merton, so maybe James is not finished yet with that battle for first position. And so as our two race leaders exit from the top section of the track, it's still Tommy Merton who leads James Thompson, and James just doesn't seem to be able to get that the back end of that YZ 490 to get a grip of this track in the corners. Every time James snaps that throttle back, the back wheel just appears to wash right out, but nonetheless it's still number 2 Tommy Merton on the Adrian Lappin at 430 Husqvarna who leads James Thompson on the 490 Yamaha. But James is certainly closer than he's been, so he may make a challenge yet before the checkered flag. So just a couple of turns to go. James looks like he's going to try and go round the outside, but Tommy Merton keeps that door closed. So as the two riders head to the bottom section of the track to come up the hill for the very last time, it looks like it's still going to be Tommy Merton who's going to take the win in this first grade A class race. So it's a win for Tommy Merton with number 26 James Thompson in second position. Number 4 here Ian Buchanan, it looks like he's going to cross the line to take that third place position. Looks like number 339 there, that's Rhys Gazzard. Looks like he's got some problems with his old 1980 440 Michael, but he'll soon get that bike back to the paddock. Next up we have the youth races of the small wheel 85s and the big wheel 85s. Of course, normally in Classic Dirt Bike TV we don't feature these kind of modern bikes, but of course this is a charity event, so everybody is entitled to have their 5 minutes of fame here on my channel. But it looks like a good start there by number 10. That's the youngster Alfie Heron as they make their way up the hill. It looks like Alfie is taking an early lead in this race as they make their way up Horsepower Hill, as our commentator Roy Neal named this particular part of the track on the day. Okay, as our race leaders head down from the hill section of the track, it's still number 10, Alfie Heron, on his little small wheel Husqvarna machine. Number 78 in second position is another rider that's neither listed in the race programme or on the club's website, so I do apologise for not being able to name the rider, but this little guy here, number 10, Alfie Heron, is quite a talent, and look out for young Alfie racing against the 125s and 250s in part 2 of this video, because it's quite a sight to see this little guy taking on the bigger bikes. Now number 5 just going through there, I think that's Josh McGlennon. But here's your race leader as he heads up the hill and completes another racing lap. It's number 10, Alfie Heron, who leads at number 78, which looks like, of course, a big wheel Yamaha YZ machine. But Alfie's little bike is certainly a match for the slightly bigger machines as they head up the hill. And I think that could be Daniel Pearson making his way up the hill there on the KTM, number 35. But it's still number 10, Alfie Heron, who leads number 78 in second position. Alfie very quick on this little Husqvarna, as you can see. Appears to be enjoying the track layout here at Ballysallagh Road, but it looks like our second place rider, number 78, has hit the deck, but doesn't look like they're going to lose any track positions. Hopefully we'll get the bike fired up and on his way once again. So it looks like number 10, Alfie Heron, has quite a substantial lead now, with no one to trouble him on the last few laps of this race. So this has been a cracking ride by this very talented young rider. Number 78 looks like he's managed to get his bike up and running again. I think he's still in second position. So there is your race leader, looking very comfortable at this point in the race. Number 10, Alfie Heron, on his little buzz bomb Husqvarna. Very quick little old bike this, and he's a very talented young prospect, this Alfie Heron, if he's this quick at this age. So who knows, this could be one of Northern Ireland's motocross stars of the future. And number 78 looks like he's up and running once again. I think this rider is still in second position, and again I do apologise for not being able to name the rider, because I don't have any details whatsoever of the rider. But we're looking at a race leader as he starts his last and final lap. It's number 10, Alfie Heron. Number 78 in second position. And I think our third placed rider could be this young man here, number 8. I think that's Matt Shaw, riding a KTM, I think. But this has been an excellent ride from this very talented youngster, number 10, Alfie Heron, on his Husqvarna as he heads towards the checkered flag for his first win of the day. Now, Alfie just giving a shake of the head there to somebody who thinks is turned in front of him, but this has been a good ride by this very talented youngster. So as he makes his way up the hill, it's the first win of the day for number 10, Alfie Heron. Now, some of the spectators that have come out to take a look at this charity event here on the Friday night appear to be enjoying the racing. Okay, that brings us back to the vintage racing once again, and this is the pre-1977 class, and this is of course race 7 of the 2 blocks of racing from the Friday evening's race programme. So it looks like the riders are good to go, and as they leave the line, it looks like a good start by number 111. That's Harry Stitt on his CCM bike this time. Second place looks like it's number 199 in the red there. I think that could be Jamie McMaster riding the CZ. John Griffiths is in third position at the moment as they cross the line for lap 1. Ian Buchanan, number 4 there, is also been quick off the start line, but as they head up the hill, it looks like your race leader is Harry Stitt. Second looks like it's Ian Buchanan in second position. So as the riders head down from the hill section, it is indeed still number 111 Harry Stitt on the CCM. Second is number 4 Ian Buchanan on the CZ. Third is John Griffiths. Fourth is Adrian Lappin riding that quite nice looking CZ that we took a look at in one of the previous paddock videos, but it's still Harry Stitt as they head towards the tabletop. And Harry Stitt riding his CCM bike this time. We did see Harry in action in a Jap on a Jap bike in a previous race, so it's Harry Stitt first, second Ian Buchanan, third John Griffiths, fourth is Adrian Lappin, and I think number 303 just making the turn there is Ryan McMaster. So as they make their way up the hill to complete lap 1, it's still Harry Stitt, number 111. Second now, it looks like it's John Griffiths, but a good battle here between John Griffiths and number 4 Ian Buchanan for that second position. Adrian Lappin currently is in fourth as they all head up Horsepower Hill. So your race leader is still number 111 Harry Stitt on the CCM. That number 33 bike there of John Griffiths is a 1974 replica machine built by Joe Maxwell Engineering. This is a replica of the original 1974 bike. In third position it's still Ian Buchanan on that Czechoslovakian CZ bike. But a good race here between Harry Stitt and number 33 John Griffiths, and of course both these riders were riding Jap machines for Cecil Pearson's race team in an earlier race. So as they come round to the last 2 or 3 turns to start lap 2, it's still Harry Stitt who leads number 33 John Griffiths, and both these riders riding these Alan Clues CCM bikes. But as I said, the weather absolutely perfect for this kind of vintage race event here at Ballysallagh Road, as Harry Stitt and John Griffiths begin lap 3 as they head up the hill. Ian Buchanan is still in third position. Adrian Lappin there, number 44, is still in fourth, but a good scrap here at the front between Harry Stitt and John Griffiths. So we should see some nice action between these two in the closing stages of this race. But young Harry Stitt here at the front, a very talented engineer and racer. Harry of course builds his own frames for motorcycles and races them as well. But a very talented young man as we take a look at number 33, John Griffiths in second position. So we are back to the battle between number 4 Ian Buchanan and number 44, or number 12 on his bike. That's Adrian Lapin. Both these riders, of course, riding these Czechoslovakian CZ bikes, but we're back with our race leader, Harry Stitt, as he makes his way up the hill. Looks like Harry's opened a slight gap now to second place man John Griffiths. So it looks like Harry could be on his way to a win in this pre-1977 class race. He's already beginning to catch up to the slower riders on the track, but John Griffiths slightly further back this time, so this could be another race win for the very talented youngster Harry Stitt. And of course we have all the racing from this 2-day event still to come here on Classic Dirt Bike TV, so there will be another 4 or possibly 5 racing videos to cover all the races from this 2-day event, so make sure that you don't miss out on the future videos here on my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel. So it's still Harry Stitt, your race leader. Second is still John Griffiths, and this is the battle for third and fourth position. So Harry Stitt has now just come across the checkered flag to take the win. It's John Griffiths in second position, and it looks like it's going to be number 4 Ian Buchanan who's going to finish in third, with Adrian Lapin at number 12 in fourth position. Okay, just to finish off this part 1 video from the 2-day event here at Ballysallagh Road, we're going to take a look at the Junior 65 class, and this of course will finish the first block of racing. You will be able to see the second block of racing from the Friday's race event in part 2. So as they make their way up the hill, number 417, I think that could be Alfie Thompson, when in fact Alfie Thompson and Freddie Thompson are both registered as using the exact same racing number, so I don't know what's going on there, but nonetheless, as the race leaders make their way down from the top section of the racetrack, and it looks like it's still number 417, number 7 there just going through on the little KX Kawasaki. I think that's the youngster Ben Allen, who looks like he's now taken the lead of this race. There's some quite talented youngsters taking part in these races, and who knows, some of these riders could certainly be stars of the future. As we take a look at our race leader, number 7 Ben Allen on the Kawasaki. Now number 417 in second place could either be Freddie Thompson or Alfie Thompson. Whoops. Looks like number 9 there, I think that's Josh Coffey, who's just taken a little slide off his bike, but Josh appears to be okay, and he's still good to go. Lee Rook there, the marshal, just giving him a hand to get his bike fired up once again. As we take a look at a couple of the riders making their way up the hill, quite a big daunting racetrack for these little bikes. As we're back with our race leader, number 7 Ben Allen on his little Kawasaki. And as I said previously, all the youth races at this 2-day event are sponsored by Function Design Furniture, so it's thanks to those guys for their very generous contribution to this charity event here at Ballysallagh Road. So it's still number 7 Ben Allen on his Kawasaki, who is your race leader. Ben looking very comfortable at this stage. Number 92 there is unfortunately another rider that's not listed in the race programme or on the club's website, so fortunately I can't name that particular rider. But here's number 7, your race leader, Ben Allen, on his little Kawasaki as he heads up the hill to begin another racing lap. But of course it's thanks to Cecil Pearson and of course all the club members of the Northern Ireland Classic Scramble Club for their preparation of this track. It's a fantastic layout, and it's thanks to those guys for their hard work with putting posts in and the ropes up and all the other infrastructure that goes with putting on a 2-day Scrambles race event. So we're looking at our race leader, number 7, Ben Allen. Ben looking very comfortable on his little Kawasaki. As we take a look at our second placed position rider, number 92 there, which looks like it's a little KTM machine. So as Ben Allen comes up to complete another racing lap and start his last and final circuit of this Cecil Pearson track. So this has been a very good ride by the youngster Ben Allen. Now we're looking at number 9 here. That's little Josh Coffey, who came up and introduced himself to me at the in the paddock and said that he was a big fan of Classic Dirt Bike TV, and he told me to watch out for him on the track, and his number was number 9. So hello to you, Josh, and I hope you're enjoying having a look at yourself here on Classic Dirt Bike TV. But here's your race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag. It's going to be a win for number 7, Ben Allen. So I hope you've enjoyed most of the racing footage from this Part 1 event here at Ballysallagh Road, and don't forget to retune to my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel to see the second part of the racing from this Friday night's programme. Now, as I said, this is just the first of many videos from this 2-day event here at Ballysallagh Road, so please make sure that you retune in order that you don't miss out on any of the future racing here from this fantastic 2-day event here at the Northern Ireland Classic Scrambles Club.